What is the most fascinating quality about human beings? For me, I think it's our ability to evolve, our ability to adapt, our ability to overcome, like that one meme. But surprisingly enough, this does not only apply to just our genetics and our genome, this also applies to things like TFT, where even though there's only a week left of set 8.5, we are once again experiencing an evolution in the meta where we're seeing Milk Monkey, a Chinese comp that is surprisingly taken over the NA solo queue ladder because of how dumb the comp is. Also, it just sounds funny, but also how it kind of works. And as we'll see later on in the video, how it can even work in some of the most craziest, strongest challenger level lobbies. And as a little bonus, we'll be going over a North American variation of Milk Monkey, Milk Mommy. I'm not even fucking kidding. That's like a real thing. Anyways, let's hop into today's video and talk about Milk Monkey. Jesus Christ. This is wow. All right, so just like with any comp and builds and guides or whatever, I gotta give credit where credit is due because I was obviously not the one who created this. This was originally created by this guy called Milk Me Fast. Milk Wukong was created by this guy called Milk Me Fast. And this is actually a mistranslation. Milk Me Fast, in Chinese gaming culture, supposedly the milkman or the milkwoman is slang for a healer. So this is actually the correct translation, even though directly it's Milk Me Fast, it's actually supposed to be Heal Me Fast. So unfortunately, because due to a mistranslation, it's now called Milk Wukong. Also just Milk Monkey because of the alliterations there, and it just sounds funny. This was actually, I believe it was translated by this guy named Lemon Paprika, who is a like 1,000 LP challenger player, and it's worked in some of his lobbies. He even has proof of it working, but as you can tell by his match history, I mean, I think it looks like he tried to play some games and then it just didn't hit. So then he just tried to pivot out and it's not been working too hard for him. But in general, this board can work. Don't get me wrong, this board can work. And you might have noticed that actually there was a clip that I posted from my stream yesterday of the Milk Monkey actually beating Fiddlesticks 3. It was incredibly giga-whisk Fiddlesticks 3, but it still beat it. So that's just something to keep in mind. This comp, again, it has a very, very high cap, but it does have some strict conditions to keep in mind that we'll talk about more as the video progresses. But you know, don't expect to hard force this 20 out of 20 and win every game. You're actually more likely to probably go 8th with it most of the time because the conditions are actually really, really strict. And again, we'll delve more into it. But by the way, in case you're not like fully convinced about the strength of the potential strength rather of this board, I actually found out about this through replay stream. I didn't find out about Milk Monkey through competitive TFT at all. Turns out that somebody played Milk Monkey in one of replay's games. And you might be going, oh, it's solo queue, like who cares? Like people don't really give a shit. This is not enough competitive integrity in solo queue, yada yada yada. This is a world's scrim. Let me repeat that. A world scrim. This is a scrim containing some of the best from different regions. We have obviously Replay, who's one of the dark horses of North America. Jukyu as well, another one of North America's dark horses. We have Casey Calmin Canbase. I believe this is a French player. And then we also have Jazz Latte as well from Southeast Asia. And I'm sure like these guys are also, the other ones are like known as well. I don't know them personally. I mean, these names I'm familiar with. But again, I'm not like super in-depth knowledge about who any of these people are. But they played Milk Monkey. This Aha Owe guy played, I'm definitely butchering that by the way. Aho Owe, I don't know. Huawei? Fuck. Anyways, listen, this guy played Milk Monkey and he went 4th with it. In like a very strong and difficult and competitive lobby. Now, I will say though, he is playing the double triple variation, and we'll go over the different variations that exist because I don't think the original guide actually covers a lot of the variations that exist within Milk Monkey. It covers some, but not all of them. So we'll go over some variations that I've noticed through other world players as well. But I mean, this is the double triple variation, which is a little more, I think, consistent compared to the other variations that exist. But it is a bit high roll. It's a bit difficult to hit. And again, we'll talk about the conditions as we progress. Now, let's talk about Milk Monkey, the original core, the original idea behind the build. Milk Monkey is the idea that you just play 3-star Wukong, 3-star Draven backline. You don't actually even need 3-star Draven backline, but this is almost always nice to have, and you almost always manage to find it anyways. 3-star Draven backline, 3-star Wukong frontline. You just mech Wukong frontline, and you play it with supers. Now, you don't have to play it with supers, but typically if you're rolling for the Wukong, you're probably going to find a lot of Malphites, a lot of GPs, a lot of Lee Sins. So the idea is at level 5, until you hit the Wukong 3, you just play, you don't mech the Wukong. You just play supers, and then you 3-star GP if you happen to find it, 3-star Wukong, 3-star Draven if you find it. And then level 6, once you hit 3-star Wukong, you just tech onto the Jax. The leveling progression is the same as any other 1-cost reroll comp, where you just, Econ, you 5 loss, basically stage 2. You just roll down to like 30-ish gold. If you're really close to hitting, you can maybe drop even lower, but you probably shouldn't in general because you do have a lot of 3 costs you want to hit. Roll down to about 30, stabilize your board a bit, regenerate your econ, slow roll at stage 3, eventually find your units, and then push level from there. That is the general gist for like any 1-cost reroll, but for Wukong in particular, you don't really want to drop below 30 according to the original guide, because apparently, let me see if I can find it. Apparently, you don't really want to drop below 30 at 3-1, supposedly because it's just not very good. Apparently you just lose too much tempo. Yeah, apparently you try not to roll below 30 before yeah. Anyways, you get the idea. You can read the original guide if you'd like. This is the original guide, by the way, in Chinese, if you can read Chinese. It's linked in the original post as well. I'll post it in the description as well. Anyways, this is the original idea. You push level, and the backline, you can kind of flex whatever. It doesn't really matter. You might also notice, by the way, one of the conditions is a mech prime crest. It's not necessary, but it's very nice to have. Also, sorry, I did say Jax at 6. It's not actually true if you have the mech prime crest. But the idea is really simple. You just mech. Oh no, sorry, it is true. Yeah, because you don't want to sacrifice the Draven. Sorry. It's been a long ass day. Okay. Anyways, the point is, mech crest is really important. Now, why is it so important? It's important because 3-star Wukong. Or 3-star Wukong, yeah, it actually falls off. And it falls off if you stay at 3 mech. So if you can't hit 5 mech, which, if in case you haven't realized yet, it requires a Leona, which is very difficult to hit and natural in general. So by having this mech crest here, and usually you can just sacrifice the GP, you have 5 mech very easily at level 7 if you just find the Garen, and it's a lot easier, more consistent to hit than anything else. If you don't hit that mech prime crest, it can be very difficult. But you can also play the double trouble variation, which is what we saw over here in the scrims, which is the variation that exists with you just double trouble all the mech units. So you double trouble Wukong at 5. Again, I don't even know if you don't want to mech it, even if it's not 3-star. I personally, when I played this, I just mech the Wukong, even though it was a 2-star. I didn't know any better. I was just playing the comp for the first time, and I didn't know that this guide existed when I played it for the first time on stream. But I just mech'd it with double trouble value. It was like strong enough of a front line that like I was like chilling during stage 3 that I didn't lose that much HP and it was fine. Maybe you don't want to mech it. Maybe you'll win more. I don't really know. But the point is, this is fine. You can just do this, mech it at 5, and then you're just chilling, you just hit the Wukong 3, Draven 3. You do definitely need to hit Draven 3 though. The way that I approached the comp was I slow rolled at 5 for the Wukong 3, and then I slow rolled at 6 for Draven 3. You could make the argument that you don't have to do that, because if you're slow rolling at 5 for one unit and slow rolling at 6 for another unit, that kind of sucks ass. You know what I mean? So there is a world where you might want to just instead slow roll at 6 and then try to hit the Draven 3 and the Wukong 3 at 6. That makes a bit more sense. But I digress. You can do whatever. Personally, I kind of high rolled. I just hit the Draven 3 on 5. So that was just the way that it worked out for me. But again, I don't know what's exactly better. I'd love to hear your input if you want to throw it in the comments. But whether you slow roll at 5, slow roll at 6, I'm not really sure. This Aha Away guy, I didn't get to watch his VOD, so I didn't really know how he approached it. But my general theory is that it's probably a slow roll at 6, but slow roll at 5 is probably okay as well. I don't know. Anyways, this one, I mean, again, very, very straightforward. The problem is, again, it's the Leona. So if you don't hit that mech crest, as you can see, he actually hits the mech crest here on his 4-2 augment here. So he actually found a bailout. But his board probably actually bought 4s if he doesn't find the Leona at 8. Because, again, like I said before, 3 mech, it actually falls off really hard. It actually falls off a cliff. But then 5 mech is so strong that you actually just stabilize pretty hard once you have 5 mech and a triple item Wukong. Again, this is kind of what it looks like with the double trouble board. You could just do some sort of variation of this or whatever. It's not that flexible, though, because at the end of the day, you can double trouble the Garen, or you can just throw in like a Fiddlesticks. It doesn't really matter too much. Maybe Aegis if you'd like. But again, requires the Leona. Very, very difficult to hit. Requires a lot of conditions. But if you hit, and you'll probably have a really good time. I will say this. The Wukong itemization also changes, I've noticed, based off the hero augment you hit. What do I mean by this? Well, obviously, if you hit Cyclone, you play Hacker, you play Cyclone. That's just, it's very straightforward. I don't think Wukong's support augment is good enough to enable this comp. I actually think it's probably Giga-Whis in terms of hero augments. In general, you probably want to either play Ruthless Blades, which is this one, which is Draven support augment, which gives everybody crit. But if you play Ruthless Blades, the itemization changes. So here you can see we have Titans, QSS, and BT. This is sort of the original sort of BIS for Wukong. But if you have Ruthless Blades, you actually kind of want to not do that and actually probably play something like Hodge JG. Your Wukong is a bit less tanky, but does significantly more damage. And with Ruthless Blades and extra crit chance, you just get overflowing crit, which if you don't know, oversaturated crit just turns into bonus crit damage. For every 2% bonus crit chance you get 1% bonus crit damage. It's a 2-to-1 ratio. So this actually does a shitload of damage. It's very similar to, like, if you remember Ruthless Blades Kaisa back during set 8. Not 8.5, set 8, where you would take Ruthless Blades and just play 4 recon, and then the idea was that you just had so much crit chance that you just oversaturated your crit bonuses, you just deal infinite damage. Same theory here applies as well. If you are playing any other variation though, especially which is like Grandmaster Training, this is also one of the better ones. You just BT, QSS, Titans. You can also play for the 4-2 hero augments, which would be something like the Leona, I believe, what is this, Eclipse Prime, I believe it's called. Eclipse Prime here. Really great. This ensures your Leona, so you get the 5 mech as well. There are a couple outs, like I said before. Tome is actually surprisingly interesting here as well. You could take Tome at 2-1, and then if you happen in the mech rest, you can actually lean into this. That's totally viable as well. But yeah, I mean, overall, there's other variations as well. This is the 4 ace variation. I've never seen somebody play this variation before. But supposedly, I think Lemon Paprika mentioned it in the comments as well, that like it is a board that you can run. 4 ace Milk Monkey if you get +1 supposedly. You can also play around ace in the hole if you want to play this. Ace in the hole, by the way, is, I have never, by the way, ever seen this prismatic in my life, but ace in the hole apparently is a legitimate thing. I've never been offered it once this entire set. I've never even got a chance to try it, but supposedly you can play ace in the hole here, and then you just drop one of the aces, probably the misfortune here. You get an ace crest, throw it on whoever the fuck, and yeah. Really simple. Just 2 flex units. I mean, it's probably like, I don't know, like ace soul, ace fiddlesticks or something. I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know, maybe something like this. That's fine. That looks passable to me. But yeah, like, there's a bunch of variations, and there's actually, funny enough, there is another variation of the Milk Monkey board that sort of NA has been sort of experimenting with on the solo queue ladder, but I haven't seen it really succeed. And it's not even the monkey. It's Milk Mommy. It's Milk Riven. It's Reverberation Milk Riven, I guess you could say. Mech Riven, if you will. Milk Riven, Mommy Milkers? Like, I don't know. There's some funny name hidden somewhere. I don't know what it is. If you find it, let me know. But you just build full tank. You play Reverberation. And this comp is very fun, but it suffers the same problem of if you hit, you hit. If you don't, you don't. I actually lost to this board earlier today. Funny enough, the same day I tried Milk Monkey for the first time. And I actually had like a decent Infinity board going on, and I lost to it. The guy I lost to, he was playing Morgana with Asol. I'll probably play some B-roll footage so you can see it as well. He just played Morgana Asol for the backline, and I mean, it just does so much damage that it just works. In general, in the late game, if your carry is doing like 10k damage plus, that's usually a good sign that like it's like a legitimately viable comp. Definitely try it. It's just tank items here for the Riven. I don't really think it's very consistent. As you can see in the clip that I played earlier, the guy was 1 HP when he beat me. So, I mean, again, it's one of those things that, like, if you hit, you hit. You don't, you don't. But, I mean, again, this is also just an option that you have at your disposal. But, hey, set 8.5 is ending very soon. If you want to have some fun on the ladder, that is a pretty decently viable comp from certain aspects and certain lines, go for it. This is a very fun comp. It's actually a really interesting comp. I'm excited to see if this ever gets played at Worlds. But yeah, that's basically it. Have fun with it, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Happy climbing. Take care.